I think the overriding thing for the two leaders to work on this week is what might happen in the trade relations. It's important Australia get an insight, and we try to influence the American president to move away from managed trade, where he can cut deals with nations he likes, back to World Trade Organization rules. And I think Australia's got to be aware that Donald Trump can beat the anti-Chinese drum, but more than anyone else in America, he could be tempted to doing a sudden deal between his country and China that cuts Australia out. If he's going to increase American exports to China, it's going to be at the expense of Australian beef, Australian wine, Australian liquid natural gas. A big trade deal between these two big powers is going to have Australia losing a lot of the market access we've built up as a result of an Australia-China free trade agreement. I think the relationship is rather unhealthy. I think Australia would be better served by a bit of dignified distance between itself and the US. And indeed, former US Secretary of State John Kerry said recently that Australia should be dealing midway between China and the US, whereas Australia at the present time is about as close to Trump's America as any of America's allies. I don't think that's in Australia's national interest, but it's where we are. Unless we get some influence over Trump's thinking on trade with China, I think we're going to be going to this meeting sitting pretty for another big request from the Americans to ban other Chinese companies the way we banned Huawei, or to send a bigger presence to the Gulf, or to provide an Australian freedom of navigation patrol in the South China Sea, which up till now we've carefully declined to provide, even though we've got diplomatic differences with China over the South China Sea. What will be the American request of Australia? That's the big question.